Shit. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to Echo 4. I don't have a tagline or intro for this because this is literally one of the inaugural videos that we coming up with. So everybody go ahead and introduce yourselves one time.
Hi, I'm Booty Monique, and I didn't have nothing else after that. My name's Booty Monique.
Hey, girl. This your girl, Drea. Hey.
Yo, it's your boy Kensan.
What's good? I'm your boy, the Mad Prince, and I'm going to be your moderator for this video. So, recently, Marvel's been cranking out. I mean, well, not even Marvel, just Disney in general have been cranking out content like a motherfucker. So, you know, the first Marvel series was WandaVision. We didn't get a chance to actually critique that one though, but Winter Soldier just debuted and we're going to be critiquing the hell out of it because of what it is. So this is the first episode. This is our discussion, excuse me, on my Rick Sanchez shit.
Oh God.
So this is about to get sloppy. If you get just for context, we've already filmed the video earlier before this one. Check that one out, by the way. It's for the Justice League Snyder cut, so that should be up on the channel by the time this comes up. So be sure to check that one out.
I was up here when it started.
Oh, I was up here when that started.
The fuck out of here! I'm on my third cup.
This is my second
here
cup.
And there, now here is down there. Yeah.
So we're gonna be critiquing the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is the first episode. We're gonna be critiquing it throughout this whole first season. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that, so you can get all our updates. Be sure to ring that bell as well, so you'll be apprised of said updates. So on and so forth. So if you don't know, the Falcon and Winter Soldier takes place after Avengers Endgame. This is after when Cap passes on the shield to Sam Wilson, also known as Falcon. And this is basically the fallout of everything that happens after the blip, the thing that brought everybody back from after Thanos' snap, so on and so forth. So we're kind of seeing the aftermath of what happens after the fact. You kind of saw that with WandaVision. She had to deal with her. That was more of a personal story for her in particular. But I think with Winter Soldier and with Falcon and Winter Soldier, this deals with more of a larger consequences, and you kind of delve into that. So for our first thing, I want to get initial impressions of this episode. What do you all think?
I enjoyed it. I thought I like that they kind of just kept them separate the first episode, and we just figuring out like what they're doing in their lives, especially after the blip and after Endgame. And we see that being a superhero, you still may not get along. So I was really surprised by the fact that they're going into the whole logistics and like livelihood of being a hero.
Keep it light.
So I like the topics that they touched on the first episode, and with the Winter Soldier and him basically kind of like, I guess, trying to atone for everything that he's done. So yeah, I'm thinking the first episode.
Okay. Drea?
I'm digging it. Sometimes it takes me back that this is immediately after Endgame. It's been so long since we had Endgame. So it's like, dang, that was months ago.
When the world made sense. You could really go out and like chill with your homies and shit without worrying about catching a fucking virus that we couldn't see. God damn it.
Damn. And just seeing Sam having to just reintegrate into what was his normalcy. I'm like, man, it's been 5 years.
Keep it light.
I'm gonna keep it light, but just as in the aspect that there's a lot of catching up that some of these characters will have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And just the troubles and problems that they will have to see. Unfortunately, it's only 6 episodes.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's shorter than one.
I was hoping it was 8 or at least 10.
Well. Okay, that's disappointing. I didn't know that. I just kind of assumed that it'd be as long as WandaVision, but I think WandaVision had a lot of more of a personal journey shit going on with it. But I'm not hating it. I'm not discrediting it. Whatever, so on and so forth. But yeah, Ken, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Great, Drea. Were you done or?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, Ken.
Yeah, I liked it because the feel of it felt like a continuation of Winter Soldier movie, and like just like that kind of like especially with Bucky, like just especially just going back to his scenes of like him being the Winter Soldier and like this, it's like the feeling that this show has, like it's good.
Yeah. I had to keep saying that because, like, yo, we need content. So it is. Like, hey, I've been at this game for a minute now. Like, keep it. Hey, so yeah, is that everything or?
Well, yeah. Then, like I was saying, the initial development of them trying to proceed on with life after the blip, it's interesting. It's like just the contrast of. Before we were seeing the perspective of the people who were there, who survived the blip, who lived through the years. And then now you're seeing perspective of the people who were blipped. So
yeah, interesting.
You're right.
Yep, that is interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Initial impressions for this first episode, I thought it was interesting and how they kind of divvied up because you were really watching like 2 different episodes at once. It was divvied up between Bucky's story and Falcon story and what they had to deal with and the people they had to interact with because of like whether or not because of the past or because of the blip. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm lit right now. That's rich. Told you, Rick Sanchez like a motherfucker. Yeah, because like the only time where you actually saw anything related that happened like post blip was Spider-Man, and that's like a Sony owned thing, Sony produced thing. So that's an entirely different thing. They really didn't touch on the implications of what was transpiring because of what happened. After Hulk brought back all the people with Infinity Stones. So with this one, it really delves into that sort of, it delves into that way more deeper than anything else has done. Even with WandaVision, it happened post blip, but that was really more of a personal story for Wanda herself, dealing with the grief of like losing Vision, which will probably yield some sort of long-term thing. Because technically, Vision isn't. Well, not even technically, Vision isn't dead. So how that plays out is like anyone can guess, but I'll be interested to see how that happens. But with with this new series, I enjoyed it for the most part. Now, like I said, like I already stated, this overall series, well, at least this story in particular, was divided between Falcon Story and Bucky Story. I would like to know what your impressions of was Bucky's story, how he's dealing with like life as a civilian. Somebody.
Okay.
I mean, you usually been going first.
Because it's been the awkward silence, so I was like, I'm trying to fill in the gap.
Maybe he should have stayed in Wakanda. I think he should have taken a longer break in Wakanda. Maybe should have just gone back. But he's going through therapy like every other millennial is.
He's not really a millennial, though.
I feel like every other millennial. He's a millennial.
Right? He's lived for a long time.
I mean, it's the current trend to give yourself some self-help. Unfortunately, he just ain't got no other reason because he's like, baby, you've been partying. You need to go through this. Oh, you ain't gonna tell me you've been having them dreams? Click.
Yeah, that was funny.
I ain't got time for you and your bullshit. We trying to do some healing.
Well, the reason he's been pardoned is because he fought against Thanos. Because both him and Falcon have been pardoned.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel bad for Bucky. I think that's what I was taking away from the episode, was that I feel bad because this is not his generation. He is super old, and the one person that would understand him from the generation that he comes from the timeline he comes from, is Cap, and Cap is not there. We don't know where Cap is, but
did he technically die? They're giving me like,
I mean, he's like, he came back as an old man, but
chances are Cap is probably still alive. It's just that they played it off.
Just old man Cap.
They probably played it off like he's dead.
Right.
That's the vibe I'm getting, that he's gone. Like he is.
He's gone. So it's basically like he's dead. So yeah, Bucky's just kind of like really alone. I think that's why his therapist like, you need to like talk to your friends and reconnect, because that's basically what makes us human. And him just being in his thoughts and thinking about all the stuff that he did in Hydra is he's not gonna heal. He's not gonna become, civilized into our world at this time. So I thought his story was mad interesting, like really interesting.
Okay. Ken?
Yeah, because he's not just adapting as a civilian, but adapting as redemption as well, in a sense, because like the fact that he is somehow like just trying to exercise his demons out and try to learn to cope with what he's been as Winter Soldier, but he's continuing to be haunted by it, and that while also trying to be a civilian, where he's trying to do redemption with those rules and everything. He can he can't do things the way he's been trained to do and has done for a majority of his life. So like what he was kind of just broke down and said at some point, like it's just such a drastic change from being this military agent for Russia to civilian that is in redemption and in times of peace. They can't flip the switch that quickly.
Yeah, takes time.
I think he even mentioned that he like, I had a calm and I had 90 years of that bullshit. And now I can't adjust.
Yeah. He needs time.
Yeah. Bucky's story was interesting in how like because he's like 106 years old by his own count, and he's basically been a soldier throughout all that stuff, even though he was indoctrinated for most of it. So seeing how he's basically going through a level of PTSD that's again very lit, PTSD. That I don't know, that's basically unheard of for the most part, because when we see Bucky, when we first see him, he's having a therapy session because it's part of the condition of his pardon that he needs to address this shit. So yeah, seeing him try to work through that shit is really interesting, especially his relationship with that old man. I forget his name.
Yoshi, Yuri.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, his relationship with that old man, because we eventually learned that he builds this relationship with his old man because he's trying to make amends. Because part of his whole therapy is him making amends to people that he's either wronged or he was involved with as the Winter Soldier. And this old man, he killed the son of this old man for a past mission as the Winter Soldier. And like we see how tortured he is, seeing these memories flash back from his time as the Winter Soldier. So it's interesting seeing that struggle with what he has to do and and him basically confronting his past. So yeah, I felt like it was interesting in a sense that it could be some potential character growth for him. I felt that was interesting. That's all I have to say about that. Next, I want to talk about the threat of the Flag Smashers. In this in the series, the Flag Smashers are a group or a radicalized group who believe that the world was better off during the time of the blip, during the 5 years that persisted when half the universe was pretty much blinked out of existence by Thanos. So when we see the Flag Smashers, they are initially initiating some sort of heist under the guise of like a flash riot. So I want to get some impressions, like what you think about the Flag Smashers. What do you think? How much of a larger role do you think they can play into the series? So on and so forth. Brittany.
I don't really have a very strong opinion on this group yet. I do think this is going to be the main group that Falcon and Winter Soldier will have to deal with. But I don't really necessarily see it as a long-term thing that's going to be in a new phase of the MCU. So I think it's just kind of like a villain for this series. That's the vibe that I got. But it's interesting because, you would get like some sort of like terrorist group, extremist groups that would definitely be like, life was better when half the population was gone. I can see that happening in real life. So I'm already invested in the villains because it's realistic. So, I fuck with it.
All right. Something I probably should explain. The Flag Smasher is actually a supervillain. In the
that's where my interest came.
The Flag Smasher is basically a foil to to Red Skull. Where Red Skull is basically pushing forth like an anti-Semitic agenda. The Flag Smasher is basically pushing forth an anti-patriot patriotism agenda. So he's a villain specifically made for Captain America, who basically is the embodiment of patriotism. Mm-hmm. So
that's different.
So it's been reimagined in a sense that the Flag Smashers are a group rather than just one lone individual person.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So Andrea, before we start with Andrea, you have any sort of change thoughts or now that you know that?
Not really. But thank you for the information. Needed.
That's what I'm here for. All right. So, Andrea, any thoughts or opinions?
Because I was aware there's only 6 episodes, I know they have to hit the ground running. So my main interest with the Flag Smashers went that guy at the end, if there was a connection, because I'm like, y'all ain't got time to have 2 separate villains to deal with. So I'm like, let's get it. Mm-hmm. Especially episode 2 about how is this all come into play when it comes with this whole new age of Captain America and how that come into play with everything that's going on now and their new idol. I'm trying to keep it light because I'm sure you probably gonna mention that later.
It is what it is. Okay. Ken.
Yeah, I do find it interesting because like it's that idealism of the Flag Smashers, like the fact that they want to destroy all forms of like patriotism and dedication to a certain nation, to a certain flag. So like it's like a true form of anarchism or anarchy, and like it's just and going that. Combined with like a lot of the restrictions that both Falcon and Winter Soldier have, like with Falcon, like he's technically not like a superhero really in use anymore. So and he can't, like for example, with that earlier mission, like they couldn't pass the border or anything. Like he's restricted militarily, and Bucky, he's also restricted by those 3 rules. Mm-hmm. Like they're restricted by these rules and dealing with people who have no restrictions.
Ooh.
So
I see you.
Okay.
The contrast, I see it.
Yeah, like, ooh, yeah.
All right, so when it comes to the Flag Smashers, it really speaks to like the whole post blip status quo that's kind of emerged from Avengers Endgame. There's a lot of chaos. I mean, because if you have half the population come back into existence,
Man,
all of a
First
sudden,
disappear.
5 years, after 5 years of like trying to struggle and survive without them, I mean, shit's bound to happen. So. A group that thinks that the world was better during the blip when this people was gone. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to sneeze, but I can't sneeze.
go ahead. Take a step to the side.
Yeah. I know. I have a button here that allows me to like mute myself. Oh, I'm good.
That's dope. I want one.
But it just sounds like you're bleeping as if you was cussing. That's what it sounds like to us. So like,
no,
you gotta give us the face.
Because I'm drunk.
Now you just
Are you muted?
yeah, he's muted. He's muted.
That's the button. That's
okay.
Oh, okay.
At first it was boop. I'm like, damn, he's just going in. You don't want to do that on YouTube.
I feel about this Flag Smash.
And see, he thought we were gonna be okay with not seeing his face for this. We wouldn't have all of this.
I'm mad he's still going.
I know. I'm gonna take a sip.
All I have to say about that. No.
And, the whole time he ain't say a damn thing.
He's just moving his mouth.
The idea that there's a foil to the idea of Captain America is a very interesting one, because that's really what I see that's being discussed here in this series is what is Captain America, which leads me into my next question. This new Captain America, what are your thoughts about him? Do you think it matters? What do you think? What does Captain America represent? Like I have comic book knowledge to some degree on the idea of the mantle that is Captain America, because mind you, basically Steve Rogers passed on the mantle to Sam, but Sam kind of didn't take it because he felt like he couldn't. Then he gave it up so it could be a symbol on its own right, but that symbol was basically not even taken, just co-opted by the Department of Defense in order to make their own Captain America. So I want to know how do you feel about that idea of like just Captain America, how the idea of that mantle is being used in this first episode.
Well, can I go? Yeah, I'll go. First off, So first off, I'm gonna say that when I first saw the new Captain America and I saw his face, I was like, his face reminds me of something. And I had to quickly Google search it, but the Mad TV magazine kid.
Wow.
With the more I was like,
Eddie.
Oh. It's like, I can't.
He ain't got no lips. I don't trust him.
I don't accept.
You sound like my mom.
I don't trust him.
I don't say I belong over here as the new Captain America. I was like, nah, this ain't right. No, this ain't. This rubbed me sideways. It's like this. Yeah, that's like no, I don't like it. But But taking the concept of what you're saying, like what I might think Captain America is like, he's a symbol. Yeah, he is like the idea of the American, not this American dream, but the symbol of America, the idea of America, the face of America. There's just everything like that resembles democracy, freedom, patriotism, doing the right thing, just being good overall, and just trying to turn that into kind of like a mixture of propaganda and as a weapon as well.
Okay.
You saw some of that in his little museum. There's this propagandas behind him. I'm like, God damn, that's what y'all was on.
That was his original job.
Well, in all fairness, Captain America represented a pivotal point in World War II. So I'm not exactly. I mean, he was basically the first recorded like superhero, more or less. Granted, he wasn't the first superhero definitively in the universe that is like the Marvel expanded universe, but he was like the first one of note in the history of the 21st century. So. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's not because of the red, white, and blue.
My hand twitched. I'm sorry.
I'll go next again. It's just with how Captain America moved, he represents this whole American idealism. And when you have that in juxtaposition against the Flag Smashers, and I'm seeing this new face, I'm like, it's us, sis. Shit about to hit the fan. And unfortunately, I have binge watched The Boys, and I've seen Homelander as the antithesis to Superman, but also in its essence, Captain America. So I'm like, damn, how far is this darkness gonna go when it comes to somebody just pretty much bamboozling that mantle and somebody just doing whatever they want with it, because this isn't Captain America's world anymore. He's gone. That representation is gone. So I'm ready for shit to get fucked up. We only got 6 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much what you all said about, Cap being the face of America used as propaganda. I do find that it's going to be interesting that Falcon was supposed to be the next Captain America. He felt that he couldn't fill those shoes. Those are big shoes to fill. And he kind of, basically shied away from it. And I think it's going to be interesting because I think they will be playing on race a lot in this series. And America for Black people, it's not the same America for white people. So I think that's going to be really explored in this series. And I'm excited to see that. Just to see if he will become the next Captain America. Right now he's Falcon. But we don't know if he's going to be able to commit and go ahead and be the symbol of America,
Okay.
Oh, I just want to add.
Okay, go ahead.
It's an added tidbit. It's like, I find it so weird, as in, I'm not surprised he gave up the shield, but it felt so weird. Like at Endgame, it felt like this is it. He's the next one. And then now he's like, nah, here you go. And then he's surprised, like, damn, they gave it to somebody else. Like, baby, you didn't see that coming? It was writing on the wall. You think I'm going to be behind some glass?
He's a little naive.
Don't be Mandalorian naive. Come on now.
Well, it's more like he kind of feel like he's always second place. Because ever since his character was introduced, he got outran by Steve Rogers. He always been outdone by him. So like even like he doesn't feel like he
can't fill those shoes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It just felt weird that the staging just made it felt like he was next when he handed that off to him.
Cap said he was next. Cap believed in him. Yeah. It's just you got to believe in yourself in order to make it happen. And,
it was nice to see the reality check though. He's like, nah.
Yeah, I can't do this. No.
And I got to take care of my family. So I've been
as we see, they got some issues. So yeah.
All right, we'll get into Falcon Story. Okay, so with this new Captain America, so Captain America, the mantle that is Captain America, has been passed on to a few different people. It's been passed on to Sam Wilson, the Falcon. It's been passed on to Bucky, and it's been passed on to this new Captain America who goes by the name of what's his name again? It's
I looked it up.
It's John Walker.
There you go.
Now, John Walker is basically, I don't want to say he's an antithesis, but he's more of a foil to Captain America. And when it comes to the comics, he's basically tries to uphold Captain's beliefs, but he is way more brutal in doing so. He's more amicable to the idea, to the establishment, more or less. So yeah, the idea of this. So I think a major episode. I mean, not a major episode. A major theme of the series is like, what does the mantle of Captain America means? For Sam, it's more racial in nature because which is understandable for especially for all of us here. How can you stand in defense for a country that really historically hasn't stood in defense for you? How can you be that Captain America? Exactly. So that's another thing. Then we have Bucky on the other hand, who has been indoctrinated for the better part of 70 years, used as a weapon, as a tool against any and all individuals who represented a threat to Hydra, even going so far as to kill Tony Stark's parents because they represented some sort of threat. The nature of that threat we don't know, but that hinges on another certain thing. Then we have this new character, John Walker, who is assuming the mantle of Captain America. Now, anybody in the comics would know that this character, he plays a character known as like a U.S. agent. So basically, he's a brutalized version of Captain America who adheres to the American establishment. But anyone who knows Cap in the movies knows that he rebelled against the establishment. You saw that in Civil War when the Sokovia Accords came about. Because he was so against them, he waged a war against the ideals of what it represented. So I think that this series is going to address what does being Captain America means.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
What does that really mean? Because Steve Rogers stood in defense of, because the thing is that Steve Rogers stood in defense of American ideals, but he didn't really stand in defense of America. I mean, you feel what I'm saying with it? Or you get what I'm saying with this? Because now with this new story, with this new series, we have a new Captain America who's backed by the DOJ, by the Department of Defense. Department of Justice. So how do you distinguish that between how would that really be like Steve Rogers? Because Steve Rogers openly rebelled against certain things that the American government did. And because he felt that it was like certain things were right. Sokovia Accords being the Civil War being the main thing about that. And Sam, on the other hand, he, like I said, it's racial for him. Like, how can he be a black Captain America when the country hasn't stood in defense of him and people like him? So it becomes a sort of like a social question of what it means to be Captain America. And I think between Bucky, between Falcon, and between this new character, John Walker, that's going to be something that's going to be explored through these episodes on what it means to be Captain America. Who's more worthy of having that mantle in order to because basically they made this new Captain America basically out of fear. It wasn't a need. It was because of fear, because you saw sort of promos of going about of how you saw Captain America high-fiving motherfuckers during like the halftime show of a fucking football game or some shit like that. It's propaganda. That's basically propaganda.
Yeah, that's literally propaganda.
Propaganda. And at a certain point, it's understandable because the world went through this traumatic event.
I was just about to say that too. Yep.
Well, half of all existence got sort of at least snapped out of existence, literally. And then suddenly they come back the same exact fucking way after 5 years of trying to struggle, trying to run society. And so I think this series explores what it means. What does it mean to be Captain America? What does it mean to be worthy of that legacy? Because because Steve Rogers kind of set a bar for that shit. And I think that everybody involved are kind of like approaching that mantle with their own interpretation based on their own personal experiences. and it is going to lead and it's going to conflict with one another to a certain degree. So that's what I think about the whole new Captain America thing, and I think that's going to be a major driving point for the overall series as a whole. So yeah,
agreed.
All right, so next we have Falcon Story. Like I said, this episode was really split between Bucky's and Falcon Story. So now Falcon Story, him coming back after the blip, him trying to reconnect with his family, so on and so forth. I want to hear your thoughts about that. Go ahead and voice them because this liquor is hitting it, and I really need to use the bathroom. So,
Okay.
so go ahead. I'll be back in a minute.
I can start off. I mean, I had some thoughts. I really did. I just thought it was a damn shame that Falcon, basically did so much for America, did so much for the world by helping with defeating Thanos in Endgame. And this man can't even save his family boat. Like, it breaks my heart. It's the reality of so many African-American people in this country. It's like we give so much, even our bodies going to different countries and fighting for this country that don't show that they give a damn about us and our livelihood and our family and our legacy. And that's basically what Sam was trying to tell his sister. But I get it from the sister point of view too. Like, I had to hold this shit down for 5 years by myself. I'm ready to let go. I have, basically accepted that I cannot do this. I can't maintain this boat anymore, this family boat.
Tired.
And I'm tired. And Sam just like, he came from the blip and he's just like, wait, hold on, let's try all of this. And it didn't work. So I just thought I think I'm really going to enjoy this series just because of how real, even though, it's like it's a superhero show, but how real it is, like how grounded it is for Sam and his character. Like, my mom makes fun of this character all the time. So she'd be like, just because he's not like Captain America. So I'm really, really excited for this show.
It got to me, like, I have to remember this is after the blip. And the last visual I've seen of that is when Monica and WandaVision came back. She literally popped right back in the hospital where her mom was about to leave from being cleared of cancer. And she's like, where's my mom at? And then the nurse is like, wait, who are you?
Right.
You're looking for who? Ma'am, she died 3 years ago. So just having that pandemonium in comparison of you don't have not any value, but you don't have any legwork in this world because you've been gone for 5 years. You can't even get a loan because you haven't existed for 5 years.
It's not even your fault. There's nothing you can do about it either. It's not even that. Like, he's not just struggling as a black man in America, but as not even just as a person who leads the way, but even as a superhero, like as just showcasing how it's like, oh yeah, you're because the bank guy was asking that you guys don't have like money or you're a superhero, where's your money at? Like, but yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, it's like, yeah, and it was pretty much all like donate by this saying, oh yeah, we mostly were funded by like donations or stuff, or mostly Tony Stark, but he went on to say that. But yeah, it really, there was no monetary value for being a superhero.
Right.
So by that, like now he's showing that the one role that he found true, like he can't live off of.
It just hits even more that Captain America gave you this mantle. And as a black man coming back, everything that you have done and sacrificed just doesn't add up to shit.
Ooh, girl,
it doesn't add up to shit. You just came back. You still helping out with military missions, and it don't add up to shit at the end of the fucking day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. And even getting paid.
It's mad sad, to be honest. It's mad.
And then got to try to save his family boat that they didn't know was about to be lost. And he's glad that it wasn't already lost by while he was gone.
On top of that, I wish there was some kind of, I guess, period to kind of just see how, I guess, the Avengers settled after the dust cleared. Black Widow is gone. Tony is gone. Captain America is gone. Like, the people who held it down over the blip is gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, who is there to pick up the pieces? And the only insight that we have had in this future is Wanda going through a goddamn depression, playing house. Monica coming back like, where's my mama at? And then now Sam, you can't even get along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. I assume everybody spoke with peace when I was at the bathroom. Okay. So like, the thing about Sam, what happened with Sam is like reminiscent of a lot of like, World War II, Korean War, soldiers.
Girl, you just watched Lovecraft Country.
Yeah. Wait, was this mentioned already? I'm sorry.
No, I mean, we were just talking about how, I guess, why you was gonna pee in. Anywho, we was talking about how, like, pretty much the value of a superhero.
I'm sorry. Metabolizes liquor pretty, like, I'm my father's son. I'm sorry.
How pretty much the value of a superhero was absolutely nothing because he was gone for 5 years. He couldn't even take out a fucking loan.
Yeah. So,
and then just a comparison to World War, like, we just watched Lovecraft. Yeah. We just watched Lovecraft Country, and he just came back and was not regarded or respected for the sacrifice he gave. And I'm like, God damn, Sam.
The connection.
Damn, just feeling this on multiple levels. It's like Get Out all over again. I see shit that people won't see.
Like, I think Dave Chappelle said it best, Joe. Like, you're not just gonna be on the South with friends getting your dick sucked by for shoestrings and like chocolates and shit, and come back to America and be treated differently. That's real. Like, hey, like where
the fuck you pull this quote from?
Why did it stick?
Pocket. Got that in the back pocket. That's stuck. That's a life lesson, right?
It's real shit. So the thing about Sam is that, like, he didn't just stand in defense, like, in connection to this whole thing about what does it mean to be Captain America. He didn't stand in defense of just America. He didn't stand in defense of just the world. He stood in defense of the universe, of the known universe, the universe as a whole, because half the universe got snapped out of existence, and Thanos was the cause of that shit. He stood against that shit. He stood against that ideology that Thanos brought to their fucking doorstep. And like, when it mattered, it amounted to nothing. Like, him taking a selfie with that fucking banker was a novelty. It didn't amount to anything.
Yeah,
I was so mad. Like, I can't help you.
It didn't amount to anything. Can I get a picture? Doesn't matter how many people he saved. Doesn't matter at the scale of how many people he saved. It didn't mean shit when it mattered.
Yeah,
that's the theme that's gonna be explored throughout. Like, I think that's what's going to be explored throughout the series, because Captain America represents the best ideals of America, but America hasn't exemplified the best ideas of what America is supposed to be. So it's gonna be a sort of like a dichotomy of how what does it mean to be Captain America, especially from when you have three characters. You have John Walker, you have Bucky, and you have Sam, each in the comics who have been Captain America at some point in time. What does it mean to be Captain America? They both bring their own experiences to that. And like Sam, on his point of view, he doesn't believe that not only does he not believe that he shouldn't be Captain America, because why would he stand in defense of a country that never stood in defense of him or anyone like him? But it's sort of like what does it mean to be American, almost to a certain degree.
Yeah, I agree.
What are American values? Does the American government uphold those American values? If they did, we wouldn't have a civil war. You wouldn't have had a war movie, because that's when like the American government kind of intervened in a way that kind of contradicted their need for superheroes. And like when then in the post-blip world, when they needed a symbol to rally behind, they ended up choosing some random ass dude from the military.
Some knockoff.
Some random ass dude from the military in order to play that role. And so that's gonna be a main theme around this entire thing. Like, what does it mean to be Captain? Not only what does it mean to be Captain America, but what does it mean for Falcon to be a hero and be a black hero in America? Because the only other black heroes that we've seen in like the MCU universe is Black Panther and
War Machine.
I want to say
Luke
Cage, but I don't know about the legitimacy of like.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know about the legitimacy of the Netflix shit. I really don't at this point. But Luke Cage, Cage would be counted into that shit, because they touched on a lot of shit that hit home. It hit home for a lot of fucking people, especially the shit with that hoodie. My God.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah, I think that's going to be a major theme for this series. What does it mean to be Captain America? Who deserves to be Captain America? Who embodies American? What are the American ideologies that embody America as a whole? Go ahead.
Yeah, I like that, because they did actually have War Machine in this episode in here, and they did have that conversation. So they may bring him back to show his perspective on it as well, or that may correlate more, because. Remember, because he's kind of in that wherever the new Captain America they have is kind of in the same position how they have War Machine at some point. Remember, as Iron Patriot.
Yep.
It's basically It's the same concept. So it'd be, if they tie that in, that would be very interesting to see.
Yeah. And I'm glad they have another black character that he can talk to, because that's the thing. Like we code switch. So when we talking to white folks, like, it's a little bit different, but when we talk to each other, it's just like we let it, like, we real with each other. Like,
I've been for the last 6 years of my life. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. I've been code switching since like high school, so it's just like it's a part of our lives, and I'm glad that they have a black character that he can confide in about something he would actually understand how he feels.
And on top of that, they don't have to have the same ideals.
No,
it's like you don't have one person representing all of black people in this film. Right. Even he's like, "Why you didn't take it?"
right. Like, what are you doing? Why you didn't take it? Yeah.
Because in the comics that was always a thing. Because after Captain America got rid of the mantle, it was sort of like who would be in the running to be the next Captain America. Like at one point it was Nick Fury, and it was Sam Wilson. Nick Fury, they figured that Nick Fury wouldn't give up his position as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Sam wouldn't give it up. Wouldn't take on the mantle because of like his whole history as like a black man, and how and what would it look like for a black man to stand in defense of America when the vice versa was never a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like a sellout,
and that's how they got John Walker, who's basically a brutalized version of Captain America. Yeah. Well, in the comics, at least. I don't know how they wrote him in. Excuse me. I don't know how they wrote him in this new series. They kind of implied that they kind of like toned him down and tried to like make him worthy of the mantle, but with some ideological differences between against Cap. But at the same, it's
I don't know.
He's kind of like he on some bullshit.
Like I said, he looked like that Mad TV character, so he might be on some shit. So.
He just smelled like he on some bullshit. I don't trust him.
Okay. All right. Now that we gotten those thoughts out about Falcon and Bucky's story, let's end this on some predictions. What do you think? What sort of predictions do you think will come about? Now, mind you, I don't know if anyone who's watching this knows this, but Baron Zemo is going to be a major character in this series. If you don't know who Baron Zemo is, he was basically the like secret protagonist of Civil War. He's the one who caused the conflict, the split between Avengers.
Cap and Iron Man.
Cap and Iron Man, and the split between the Avengers and shit. He's the one who kind of like infiltrated the facility and tried to get the information from Winter Soldier about a specific thing that involved the murder, like the assassination of Tony Stark's
parents. Yeah.
So Baron Zemo is going to appear in this series at some point. When or where, we don't know, because this is the first episode. But I want to know what are your all predictions of that overall, not just Baron Zemo in particular, but overall.
Dre, go ahead, girl.
I just think off the back, you're just gonna have Bucky and Sam's response to this new Captain America. Like, how fucking dare you? Like, he don't have.
You already started to see.
I know, but I'm like, I just think Bucky's just gonna go off because he ain't doing therapy, right? Like, yeah, I ain't hurt nobody. I ain't doing nothing illegal.
He might knock following my rules. He might knock some doors.
Exactly. He's like asking no questions, getting answers first. Like, what the fuck?
Put that shield back.
Put it back in that case, motherfucker.
Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, he definitely gonna feel a type of way about that shit. Prediction on.
I want to remark real quick that it takes a lot for a character for me to like Captain America was that guy who like it takes a lot for me to be. I mean, granted, like we are all black people and we kind of like want representation and shit though, but it takes a lot for me to rally behind a fucking fictional character who doesn't look like me.
I agree.
It takes a lot.
It takes a lot.
I mean, y'all survived through Star Wars. Y'all doing it.
What the fuck?
I ain't got nothing to say.
I'm not going to address that. I try to have a wholesome moment, and I don't know how to address what
she stopped that shit. Touche.
I've always thought that shit when we're watching Mandalorian. Like, damn, these are magical ass people. How y'all connected with this shit for so long? I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all just find something. And this white boy.
It's the world. It's the world. It's the world.
Y'all found something.
Mace Windu, but shit.
His ass got yeeted out the fucking window. He gone.
Go ahead and finish your thought though.
Oh yeah, do you have anything else, Drea?
Wait, what was the thought?
Prediction.
Oh, prediction. I mean, that's it. I just feel like after this, I feel like they're gonna be really clean and straight to the point. Like after a while, Mandalorian guy, like we ain't got no fucking around. We got to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're gonna just hit the ground running, just being very resistant to this Captain America, and I don't know how soon he gonna show his ass. And you got the flag smashers, so
yeah,
I know that's gonna be the first response. Bucky gonna fuck up his therapy. He like,
No,
not my Cap.
That's my best friend.
That's my best friend. That's my best friend. Yeah. That's Bucky.
You got me fucked up. Like, hold my earrings.
You know what I want to? What I will say is that I would have wanted to see like them explore the whole idea of the White Wolf. Because in the comics,
because like when he was in Wakanda.
Yeah, in the comics, the White Wolf was his own separate character. So the White Wolf was like the adopted brother of T'Challa. So what happened? It was like some sort of plane crash happened, and he was the only survivor. And like T'Challa's father, adopted him into his family. But because he was white, he couldn't become He couldn't become Prince of Wakanda.
He was little Tarzan.
So basically, he took on like a foil he took on like a foil of Black Panther and became the White Wolf, and he led like the special forces of Wakanda in defense of Wakanda. And so there was always sort of like an ideological difference between him and T'Challa, even though they were like technically adopted. No, not even technically, they were adopted brothers. So I would have liked them to explore that a little bit, and not in that exact way, but to a degree. But again, that this is literally the Bucky that we got, though.
Yeah, I don't think
that information out there before y'all said anything, but
yeah. Predictions on the show. Honestly, I just think it's going to explore the whole Falcon and what it means to be Captain America. What does it mean to be American? And I really don't think it's going to end where we have an answer, but I do think that Falcon will take the mantle and figure out his version of what Captain America is. I do think it's going to be very fast paced, so we're going to get a lot of information really fast. So I don't know how Zemo, that's his name, Zemo?
Yeah.
I kept calling him Benzino, and I know that it's like
Benzino.
That's his name now, Benzino. That's it. That's
the great
it.
Benzino.
That's it. We rename a lot of people here. We got Jack Snyder.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey.
We got Gogurt. We rename a lot of people here.
For Shady Records, man, that's an entirely different thing.
It is, but yeah. So, Zemo, I don't know how he's gonna play in it, like, but I'm interested because he's such a fascinating character, and I'm very curious to see. I wonder if he's gonna actually work with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I don't think he will. Was he just trying to dismantle Avengers? I think he's just gonna be a key in the background.
But he might have changed. Like, I don't know. It's been 5 years, so.
But some people are okay that 500,000 people were gone, 1 billion of people were gone. He like, fuck that shit.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe he got an upgrade. I don't know.
True. But that's my prediction. Ken, if you want to go next.
And could still be doing no good.
On some bullshit.
Probably the one, kind of like being a Palpatine, like the Clone Wars, like
in the
behind
back.
Behind Marianne on both sides, So I mean, I feel like that might be, and they could may have already introduced them. There's a character in the background somehow.
Oh shit! You want to make me rewatch that?
No, try to.
should be watching, no?
Be like that man in plain clothes in Mandalorian, like y'all don't see me.
Yes.
John Cena.
Lames. Next.
That's it, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your predictions, Will? You haven't said anything?
Okay. So basically, yeah. So my final impressions are, I'm sorry, I was doing something in the background, my bad. My final impressions is that I feel that Baron Zemo is more or less involved with these flag smashers. It's sort of like a red herring for something much larger. It wouldn't be the first time something like that would happen. If you remember, like the whole 10 Rings Mandarin bullshit that happened, total red herring for AIM, that whole organization. So, yeah. I think the Flag Smashers are going to play a much larger role overall, and I think Baron Zemo is not done with his idea, with his intense disgust for superheroes, because I think his backstory was the fact that he lost his family to the interview. He lost family in Sokovia because of the intervention. Well, not because of, but just the intervention of the Avengers at that event. He blames them for him losing his family, which is why we had Civil War, why he orchestrated that entire event. So I think Baron Zemo is going to play a larger role, and he's going to be a problem for everybody who represents who is a potential heir to the mantle of Captain America. And I wanted to share something real quick. Not too long ago, You probably saw it on my screen not too long ago. But not too long ago, Marvel did this sort of like comic series where like the covers of like the of their comic books were inspired by hip hop covers. So like I didn't want to Sam Wilson. I just wanted to put that shit up if it would fucking show. Here we go. Damn, I'm very uncoordinated.
Hey.
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay, that's dope.
Yep. Aesop Rocky, Sam Wilson, long live Cap. So that's just something I wanted to put. That's just something I wanted to put out.
I love that album too. That's
Yeah, that is a good album.
Yeah. Oh, who you telling? Anyway.
Wow, for that night.
Goldie is my shit, bro.
Yes.
Goldie is. Bro, I bump this shit every time. I bump that shit in the shower every time I'm in the shower, bro. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that happens. And I think it's gonna come to a point where they have to decide who is gonna be a worthy successor of Cap. Whether it's gonna be this John Walker, the DOJ sponsored Captain America, who's basically a machine of who's basically an aspect of like the propaganda machine that is America, or it's going to be Bucky, who's dealing with his own
demons,
crisis and demons and shit, or it's going to be fucking Falcon, if he can really take on that role, despite the fact that he is a black man in America. So I'd be interested in seeing how that comes about, because the mantle that is Captain America is going to play a major part of this series. What does it mean to be Captain America? I think that's going to be a question that's going to be answered throughout this entire series as a whole.
For sure.
Or also, since it's so short, maybe they could also leave it at a cliffhanger to where they don't actually make the decision of who actually takes his mantle just yet. It kind of leaves it up to like, okay, we're seeing the different perspectives, the different outcomes and different possibilities. And then it gets to that point, but then like it leaves that little cliffhanger there. Okay.
I'm not saying that they're gonna argue, they're gonna fight for the mantle. I'm saying it's gonna be a question of the character that is Steve Rogers. Because even though that like Captain America is the mantle, he made that mantle what it is. So it's going to be looking into the character that is Steve Rogers itself. What does it mean to be Captain America? It really doesn't matter at this point who takes that mantle, but it's going to be answering. It's like a more philosophical question that's going to be explored rather than a decision made for who becomes the successor to Steve Rogers.
So you're saying it's going to be more focused on detailing what it means to be Captain America compared to what kind of vision or perspective they would take in as being Captain America.
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, the main problem is going to be Baron Zemo and the Flag Smashers.
Yeah,
that's going to be the most,
which is they've defined anarchy. And
I just think that the ideology behind the mantle that is Captain America is going to play a major role in it, and it's just not going to be as prevalent. It's just going to be kind of like interwoven with everything that happens throughout this series.
Do you think there'll be a way they will unify their idealism and then trying to turn it into not just as a singularity, but as like a team?
No, because they're too different. Everybody, the three people involved in this shit is way too different. And I mean, granted the fact that they kind of rewrote John Walker to some degree. The idea, like the belief, no one, I mean, taking on the mantle of Captain America is one thing, but that mantle became what he was because of Steve Rogers. No one can be Steve Rogers. So it's a matter of like questioning like who has the best ideology for everybody. Because remember, Steve Rogers made the decision to rebel against the American government for their part in the Sokovia Accords. And because he felt like that what they did, that the Sokovia Accords as a whole was a violation of the ideals of America from a point of view. So It really depends on like who you think at best exemplifies the overall ideology that Steve Rogers brought forth to that mantle. I think that's going to be what's answered throughout this series, throughout 6 episodes of it, apparently.
My only question is this going to be a very self-contained series, or is this going to spill over into future phases?
Oh, it's definitely going to spill over because they already.
But how much?
They already had War Machine make a cameo appearance in it, so it's definitely going to spill over because it pretty much adds to the mythos that is that is the MCU. So it depends. Yeah. It's a matter of it. Really, the better question would be to like how they're going to build upon it. That's I think what the question is, because even with WandaVision, that seemed like its own self-contained thing though, but they still hearkened to like a lot of shit that happened in the past, like Monica Rambeau. That was from Captain Marvel. So there's gonna be shit that's interwoven in that shit that builds that does a lot of world building for the MCU as a whole. So it's just a matter of like where they really. It's a matter of where they go from here.
Yeah, I'm curious on how they're gonna go, like, because WandaVision is kind of setting up that whole like sorcery, like magic element to the MCU. Not setting up, but I guess kind of expanding on it, because we get our magic from like Doctor Strange, right? He's a sorcerer. Really? But now we can kind of see like how much, like magic is actually, in
the multiverse.
Really, that's what it's setting up. WandaVision really sets up the next Doctor Strange movie.
And so I'm curious to see how Falcon and Winter Soldier is probably going to set up for what it's going to be in the next phase of the MCU, because we do have that like grounded stuff, like in Civil War. We had, Cap and Iron Man bumping heads because the government wanted to be involved in what the Avengers do. So I think it's always going to be that like A-B plot going on within the MCU, and it's all going to come together towards the end. I just don't know how y'all going to do it, but I see the setup. That's all.
Yeah, it's going to be a major test of ideology between those 3 characters, I think. As to like, because they're all part of the American military at some point in time. And so you all have different experiences dealing with the American government in their respective capacities. And I think that's going to play out into the overall plot of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Cool.
With it.
Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm excited.
All right. Any final thoughts towards this first episode? No?
I'm excited.
I enjoy it. I will say that the LAF in the beginning, they had a shit ton of helicopters. I was like, how the fuck they can't have so many more helicopters coming with all these fucking rockets?
Things you pay attention to. I love it.
Because helicopters aren't cheap, and the helicopters they had, they're attack helicopters on top of that, and with the weapon. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hey, fun.
No, I know you like this stuff. Go crazy.
But I was like, man, and the fact that I kind of enjoyed like after that the combat scene when they're at the cafe and he was trying to fix his little robot. And then he was like, "Hey, no touchy." He's like, "No." He was like, "No, this is my tech. No, don't touch the tech." So, but I also kind of feel like maybe in some way that may, if they do dive into it, that could trickle, because they may show him like slowly losing his identity as Falcon, because it's first they show him his companion bot got damaged. Because he had his spotlight and then it got damaged, and then it shows the scene of him repairing everything. And okay, of course, other people can't touch it because it's Stark tech, and only he can really repair it. And they made notion that every time someone else touch it, it's screwed up. So it's going to, of course,
that's interesting, Ken. That's interesting.
And then during that scene, it did show focus that his thrusters got damaged, and there's a lot of visible damage done. Like, they really emphasize his use of using his wings as a defensive armor a lot more in this. I feel like in this episode than they have done in the movies.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I feel like overall his identity as Falcon is going to get degraded over this series.
Damn, this is going to be sad to watch on multiple levels. Of a black man, a Falcon, goddamn.
But he will evolve in another sense.
He's gonna be the new.
He was sprouted to a beautiful butterfly.
Yes, exactly.
Buzz like
a beautiful butterfly.
Bugs like, damn, where all these goddamn references coming from? That Dave Chappelle took
that took me. I was like, wow, you remember that.
Yeah.
He like, I'm gonna put this in attack mode. I'm like, damn.
Is that all final thoughts or?
Yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Okay.
I look forward to next week.
Hello.
Can't wait for next week. So that's been this discussion on the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to Echo 4. We'll be making discussion pieces on every preceding episode of The Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we'll be making more content going forward. So that's all the time we have for you today. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Echo 4 signing off.
Gang,
Bye.
gang.
Gang.
Oh, Brittany.